Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. This is Esther Emmanuel, your favorite special need coach. Today, we'll be talking about a crucial topic that affects many parents and caregivers. Before we continue, I'll be right back. So today we'll be discussing communication delays in children. I've been in this field for years, and lately the rise of children not picking up speech or having delays in their language or speech has become something worrisome, especially for me. And so today I just thought to actually specifically let's explore the difference between speech delay and language delay. And the reason why I want us to explore this is so that, if we know this difference, we would be able to, provide the right intervention for our kids. Now, as parents, teachers, caregivers, understanding this will make a huge impact, on how we support our children or our students. Okay. All right. If you've not subscribed to this channel, this is the time you should do that. Okay. So what's the difference between speech delay and language delay? Because I know a lot of people just say, my child has speech delay, my child has language delay, but or sometimes we just use it when we notice that the child isn't talking, but then there is a difference. Okay, so what is the difference between speech delay and language delay? Simply, speech refers to the physical act of producing sound and words, while language refers to the cognitive ability, to understand and use words to communicate. Now I'm talking, something is, you're hearing something out of my mouth. That's a speech. It is more like the physical act of producing sound. My mouth is producing sound right now. So speech is coming out of my mouth. But when we talk about language, we're talking about the cognitive ability. For instance, a Frenchman is speaking in French. I don't really understand French, and the person is trying to communicate, with me. There is a barrier. I don't understand the language. You understand? So I will not be able to either prefer solution or respond to the communication from the Frenchman. So if I'm speaking my native language, for instance, and then a Frenchman is beside me or a Chinese man, and I'm speaking in Yoruba, you understand? The person will wonder what is going on. Maybe am I cursing the person or not? Do you understand? So that is a language factor where you don't understand the cognitive ability to understand the meaning of the words coming out. But when we say speech, it's more like the sound coming out of your mouth. You get, so I want us to understand that. Do we get that? Great. I want us to say it this way. Okay, speech is the how we communicate, while language is the what we communicate. Do we get that? Speech is the how, right? Then language is the what. What am I saying? What's the meaning? How am I saying it is the speech. What am I saying is language. So when we say a child has speech delay, like a difficulty in articulation, pronunciation, or fluency. You understand? For instance, maybe a 4-year-old might say wabbit, okay, instead of rabbit. Do you understand? So there is a substitution in the first letter, wabbit, rabbit, or struggles to pronounce some sounds like the R sound, the sound, the sound. There are some maybe sounds that are missing when the child is producing, words. Okay, so you might also notice that maybe the child stutters or hesitates to speak. You understand? It's all of this is what we call speech delay. At first, it might be cute, but as time goes on, it is essential for you to address the issue, to ensure that your child communicates clearly and confidently. Because one of the, barriers of, or one of the bad thing, let me use the word of speech delay, is that the child's confidence is shrinked because when the child talk, child is not sure if he's getting the words right. And of course, as they grow, a lot of there might be miscommunication, there might be people laughing, even though that is not right. Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's very important that we'll know, what to do to help our kids, talk clearly. So that is what we call speech delay. When a child, cannot articulate their words well, pronounce well, or have fluency, difficulty. Language, on the other hand, refers to difficulty understanding or using language to communicate, just like I explained before. It can manifest in different ways, such as limited vocabulary, difficulty combining words to form a sentence, or maybe struggling to understand simple, instruction. Or for example, a 3-year-old now might only say a few words like mama or dada or no. or yes, but cannot combine short sentences or short words to make sentences. You understand? They might not even respond to their names, when you call them, or sometimes if they need something, instead of them to use words to express their needs, they might just point or gesture. Do you understand? So language delay can be a bit more complex than speech delay. That's the truth. If a child has language delay, then it might be worrisome, because here we're talking about understanding. Does this child even understand me? So I've seen a lot of parents that say, Esther, I'm calling this child. He doesn't even respond to his name, doesn't respond to her name. What do I do? This child cannot even express his or her wants. He just drag me to what he wants. Just point. That is a language delay. You understand? And then, of course, with the right support, the child can actually develop language skills. It's just like you want to teach your child how to speak your native language, as I am trying to struggle to teach my children, to speak my native language. It's something I have to, it takes step by step, bit by bit, starting from the foundation and helping them join words together and communicate. This is not that, But then it's not impossible. You can actually, even though language delay is more complex, you understand, but it's not impossible. You can actually help your child develop language skills properly. Okay, so what do we do if we suspect that, our child has either speech or language delay? First, I would advise that you consult with a pediatrician, or a speech language pathologist as an SLP like me, okay, for an assessment. This will actually help us to identify the root cause for the delay, and also recommend, what is the best course of action. But in the meantime, as parents, as teachers, as caregivers, I want to encourage us. There are some things we can do at home, some things we can actually do, to help them. For instance, if you're dealing with speech delay, you can actually help the child by repeating or modeling the correct word. So, for instance, if your child keeps saying wabbit instead of rabbit, okay, you can actually come down to your child's level, let them see, the movement of your mouth and say rabbit, the way you lift your tongue, the way your mouth is shaped when you speak. Do you understand? Let them see it, and repetition is actually the key here. Allow them to repeat the words. Give them more attempts. Let them repeat the words. It will really, really help. You understand? The speech therapist can help if there's a difficulty with the movement of the tongue and all of that. But, you helping them, doing that alone shows them that they're not speaking it correctly. It's not something they begin to understand that, okay, I need to say this better. This is not how it is pronounced. You understand? So that's it. And for language delay, just using simple language around your kid is really good. Helping them to label objects is also another thing that is beneficial. Okay, so if they want something, for instance, they want a cup. This is a cup, and then they don't know it's called a cup, for instance. Okay, so when they point to this, a gesture, and say they want this, you label it for them and say, this is a cup. Do you want a cup? Cup. I want you to say cup, cup. Allow them, give them the opportunity to use words. Okay, let them repeat it. You're trying to teach them the name of this, or labeling things is actually the way to go. So do that actually, and it really, really helps. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Understanding the difference between speech and language delay can actually help you support your child or your student better. But I want you to remember that every child develops at their own pace, and early intervention, makes a huge difference. So if you're concerned about your child's communication skills, don't hesitate to reach out, okay, for guidance. Don't hesitate to ask for help, please. So thank you, everyone. This is your favorite special need coach, Esther, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.